Triple Play is the 15th episode of the 5th season of The Golden Girls. This is directed by Terry Hughes, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And I really enjoyed it. There are a lot of really great moments. There are 3 parts to the narrative, so I'll talk about each of them in turn. Sometimes with The Golden Girls, I will go through things chronologically, but with this one, it makes sense to talk about each part of the narrative. And the bit where I have the fewest notes is with Sophia. Sophia, and I didn't think much of it to begin with. She asked Blanche if Blanche needed a loan and whipped out this roll of money from her. I think she was wearing an apron or something. And I didn't really think much of it. I just thought that was the joke. Sophia had been saving money and carrying it around with her. But actually, as the episode progresses, we learn that she has somehow come into quite a lot of money. And Dorothy asks to see her in the kitchen, and Sophia doesn't want to. So Dorothy just says, "Shady Pines, Ma," and Sophia comes scuttling after her because she doesn't want to be sent to Shady Pines. Not for a second that I thought Dorothy would actually do that, but the threat worked, and we found out that the Social Security checks, I don't know why that was difficult to say, the Social Security checks had been coming thick and fast. The computer had made a mistake, and it had been sending her a lot of them, a lot of them. She said that she had 170k, which seems excessive. I don't know over what time period. I can't remember, or I didn't pick up on that if they mentioned, but that's quite a lot. And Dorothy told her that she had to return the money, and Sophia's got it all bundled in, I think, a pillowcase. It was a lot of money. It really was. So it was a decent part of the narrative. Definitely some comedy there, and a nice lesson that if this does happen, you can't keep the money, because not only is it immoral, but if they find out, you're going to have to pay it back, and you might be in a lot of trouble. I don't know what the rules are there, because if it's their mistake, it's not your fault, but you do have an obligation to return it. So a decent part of the episode. Then we come to Rose and Miles. Miles played by Harold Gould, of course, and Miles is spending his birthday with his daughter, but he suggests that why don't they visit Rose? And Rose says, yes, I'll cook us a dinner. And Caroline arrives. She's played by Molly Hagan. And there's a really stupid joke that I absolutely loved, because Rose kept coming through to the front room every time the door went, and Dorothy said, "I'll just tell you when Miles is here." And Rose said, "Well, what if we have a signal?" And that signal is, "Rose, Miles is here." So, of course, when Miles arrives, Dorothy gives the signal. Silence. Rose forgot the signal. And it's such a stupid joke, but I love it. It's very, very funny. Really, really worked very well. And ultimately, Caroline ends up talking with Rose and inexcusably tells her that she can't carry on dating her father. And the reason for this is because it's only been a year since he lost his wife, and Caroline thinks it's far too soon for him to be dating. Now, that's not her call to make. Yes, obviously, if there are signs that he's doing this just because he feels lonely, then maybe she could say something. But the person to say it to is her father, not Rose. But thankfully, Blanche stepped in and offered some good thoughts, and ultimately all's well that ends well, and Rose and Miles were very happy, and I rather liked them together. So that was a nice part of the episode, and also some good messages there as well. And then we come to Blanche. Blanche has rented a Mercedes and is pretending it's for sale so that she can meet, in her eyes, rich men who are willing to buy this Mercedes. And I assume they have to have a decent amount of money, because I can't imagine it's very cheap. Can't imagine it was very cheap to rent either. And there are a lot of innuendos in this that I absolutely loved. And my favourite moment, maybe my favourite moment in the whole episode, maybe that's a stretch, but a character called James, played by William Cort, is talking about the car. And he says, "I can't believe anything that beautiful is so cheap." And Dorothy just slaps her hand over Sophia's mouth, because it's so obvious she was going to say something about Blanche there, which I rather enjoyed. And then several men arrive. They're all wanting to test drive the car, and they want to buy the car. They really want to buy it. And Blanche is in a pickle because she didn't expect them to want to buy it, which is not the most intelligent thought that she ever had. But she explained that, "I assumed once they saw me, they'd forget all about the car," which says a lot about Blanche's self-esteem, I guess, which is, I guess, not a bad thing. But obviously she's in a bit of a difficult issue, and Dorothy went to solve this. And I like the fact that in this episode, the characters were all solving each other's problems. Dorothy was solving Sophia's problem, even though Sophia didn't necessarily think she had a problem. Blanche was solving Rose's, and Dorothy was solving Blanche's. And Dorothy basically explained, as she said, the car is not available, but Blanche Devereaux is. And Dorothy didn't do something great, though, because there were two men Blanche was interested in, and it turns out one of them never wants to see Blanche again, understandably given what she did, and the other one's going out with Dorothy, which I don't agree with. If you know your friend is interested in somebody, you don't agree to go on a date with them. So not a good look for Dorothy, but Blanche got her own back by saying it was fine, and she gave Dorothy the keys to the Mercedes, and then she phoned and reported the Mercedes stolen. Not a good use of police time, but certainly she got her own back. I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It was really fun. There's a lot going on. It's very busy, but it never felt too chaotic. Very, very funny. Personal highlights would probably be mostly from Dorothy saying Shady Pines Ma, which I just thought was so brilliant, and slapping her hand over Sophia's mouth, which she's done before. I'm pretty sure she's done before. And Miles and how happy he makes Rose. So it's a really lovely episode. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Needless to say, Triple Play is a pretty delightful episode of The Golden Girls.